Hey friends, welcome back. Today I'm excited to share with you my first Empties video. This is going over all of the Empties I use as far as makeup during 2025. We are officially in 2026 and I want to get all the trash out from last year. Without further hesitation, let's get right into this video. So we are going to start off with primers. First one I finished up is the Laura Geller Spackle Primer. This is the original one. This is a really nice grippy base for your powder foundations. I love it with the Laura Geller Baked Powder Foundation or my matte Bare Minerals. Any type of powder foundation, it works really well. And I also like it with more of a satin to matte finish matte foundation. Really nice. Next, I have a mini of the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, and I'm gonna go ahead and mention the mini of the Niacinamide Pore Gripping Primer. I like both of these. They're both really, really lovely. I like using them in addition to other primers. So I'll normally use something like a gripping base, and then I'll put a smoothing or hydrating primer over top to create the effect that I want. Really nice Milk Makeup Pore Clips. This was okay. I use this as more of a blurring primer in the center portion of my face. I finished it. It took me way too long to finish this mini size. It was okay. Nothing I feel really strongly about recommending. If you want a nice smoothing primer, I love the One Size Beauty Secure the Blur or something at a drugstore price point. I really enjoy the NYX Marshmallow Primer or even the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Liquid Primer. I've tried to finish, but I just couldn't. This is the Guerlain Meteorites base. There's still product down here. It won't pump out, and when I've tried to remove the stopper, nothing will come out. So I guess I'm just gonna call it a loss and lose this last little bit of primer. Overall, it was okay. It was nice. It took me longer than anticipated to work through. Added a little bit of moisture, added a little bit of glow, but for the price point, I wanted more. It was very pleasing to look at, but it's nothing I would recommend to anyone running out to buy unless you were just a Guerlain Meteorites diehard. More than anything, this smells beautiful. It smells like that candied violet that you would find in any of the other Meteorite products, but it's not something I want on my face in a primer. So nice, but not recommending. This year I made the biggest impact in finishing off foundations. I have way too many products in my collection, so I've really been focusing on using things up before I move on. This year, the foundations I finished are some of them I really liked, some of them I didn't like. So let's start off with the one that I really enjoyed. And this is the Sephora Collection Best Skin Ever. It looks like there's still product in here, and that's with all of these. It's just foundation, you can't really get a clean bottle. This is the original formula of the Sephora Best Skin Ever. Really beautiful satin leaning satin matte finish foundation. I wore the shade 11.5p. It was a wonderful foundation match, and I really, really like this. I want to try the new formula out when I finish some of the other things I have in my collection, but this was a really, really great, more affordably priced foundation. Next, I have the newer formula, which has been out for several years now, of the MAC Face and Body. This is called MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body, and I had the shade W1. I didn't like this. It took me way too long to finish it. The original MAC Face and Body in the shade N1 was one of my favorite products for years. When I saw they added the W's or the cools, I was excited, but this just didn't wear as well, and it felt a little bit more greasy. It never felt like it dried down like the original MAC Face and Body. So a reformulation I didn't love. The shades are better, but just it didn't have the same magic and nostalgia that I worked with for 15 years using the original MAC Face and Body foundation. So wouldn't repurchase. Next is another product I use more day to day. This is the Tarte Maracuja Tinted Hydrator in the shade 13B Fair. A little light for me, a little bright for me. With Tarte products, I tend to be between a 13 and a 16. This was okay. I didn't love it. I wouldn't repurchase it. I got it on a Tarte website sale and it was a great price, but finishing off was a struggle because I just didn't love it. Similar product I didn't love and it took me years to finish. This is the Givenchy Please Libre Matte matte finish foundation or skin caring matte foundation. This is in the shade 1-C105. I had the same shade in the Glow formula, and the Glow formula, it was perfect. It was a little bit deeper than this one, and the Glow formula looked like a second skin. This one looked dry, pale. It wasn't beautiful. The shade was too light. I ended up mixing it with things. I didn't like it. This has been discontinued, and I didn't like it at all. Next, I have the mini of the Clio Kill Cover Found Wear. This was a nice product. I enjoyed it. The shade I have is 2BP Lingerie, which in the Clio Kill Wear cushion, I also wear the shade number 2 Lingerie. I found the cushions a little bit brighter, and this has a little bit more of a saturated pink peach undertone. This worked better for neutralizing everything. This is great for packing on coverage. I enjoy both. It's always being reformulated or repackaged. Between the two, I lean more towards the cushion, but the cushion is only when you want a cushion with a lot of coverage and you want a nice, natural, healthy glow. This was really nice. I don't know if this was just because of the formula, but it has this little spatula, and I wasn't crazy about the spatula. So between the two, I enjoyed both, but if I was to repurchase one going forward, it would be the cushion. This year, I finished off the Bobbi Brown color corrector, and this is in the shade Light Bisque. It was really nice, but I've since moved on to the Huda Beauty Faux Filter color corrector, and I love that. As far as color products, I didn't finish off a ton, so we will start with face powder, and I finished off the Chanel Poudre L'Universal powder, and this was in the shade Translucent 1 or Clear 20. I believe this is the older formula. This was a backup I found, and it was nice. It was a really great powder. It's been reformulated. I can't say the new formula is memorable. It's nice, but there's other powders I like that are a lot more affordable. So this was nice. If it was still available in its original formula, I might be more keen to buy it again, but right now I'm not pressed to have this in my life. Another product I have from Chanel, and this took me forever to finish. I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. This is the #1 to Chanel Red Camellia Skin Enhancer in the shade Soft Pink. This is another product I've pumped out all that I can. I just didn't like it. It doesn't lay well on the skin. I ended up using on my neck to more so balance out the colors. It didn't look pretty on the skin. It smelled weird. It was nothing like the foundation from this range that I hope. This is something that was, I think it's like $96 here in Canada. So I made myself finish it, but I did not enjoy the process of using it. I much rather have just the classic #1 to Chanel foundation again. If I want to spend $96 on a Chanel product. Westman Atelier Cream Contour in the shade Biscuit. This is marketed as a contour. For me, it's more of like a bronzer. It's not quite warm enough to be a bronzer, but it's not cool enough to be a contour. It was really nice. I enjoyed it. It's again one of those products I'm not pressed to run out and buy right away. Currently, I'm working through one of the e.l.f. putty bronzers, and I like that just as much as this, and it's more affordable. And then a product I didn't finish, it just dried out, is this Phytosurgence Cream Blush in the shade Fume. It was okay. It was a little too muted and gray for me. I do well with more desaturated colors, but when a color has too much of that gray muted base, or like a very classic soft summer color, it takes all the color out of my complexion. I do fall in the summer seasonal color palette, but if you were kind of ranking the palette, I would be light summer, cool summer, then soft summer. So I can handle some of those more muted colors, but I need to have a little bit more vibrancy. When it goes too gray, I just kind of get washed out and I look very unharmonious. So that's why I ended up not using this. And over the course of I think 4 years of having this, it eventually dried out. I have 2 sponges in the bag. I should have more than this, but beauty sponges. One of my favorite things in my makeup arsenal is setting spray. Urban Decay All Nighter. This is the original Scandinavia formula. I love this. It was a classic, but I've since moved on to a new love, one size on Till Dawn. I'm currently working through a jumbo size. I love this so much. And now I also use it interchangeably with the L'Oreal Infallible, like 3-second mist, I think is what it's called. They're They're both really good. When I have a special occasion, I use this. On a day-to-day basis, when I just have a longer day ahead, I will use the L'Oreal Infallible. Speaking of one size, I've also fallen in love with the One Size Powder Melt, and the One Size Powder Melt has replaced my love of the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is a great product I loved for years. I loved how finely it sprays, but the One Size does what this does, but it just does it a little bit more elegantly. And when I want something more everyday that is less costly, I enjoy the D'Alba Double Serum Spray. That's wonderful and around the same price as the Morphe. I have one of my favorite, MAC Fix Plus. There was a point in my life where I would have about 6 of these emptied a year, and now 1 bottle a year is good for me. And then another setting spray I finished this year is the e.l.f. Stay All Night Blue Light Micro Setting Mist. This was okay. I don't really remember anything about it though, so I'm gonna just say it's okay. Not good, not bad, just okay. This year I didn't necessarily empty any lip products, but I do have a couple lip products that just expired. 3 Roman Juicy Lasting Tints expire. The shade number 28 Bare Fig, number 22 Pomelo Skin, and then number 23 Macadamia. I love this formula. The Roman Juicy Lasting Tint is one of my favorites. I have a drawer full of shades I love and use all the time. These are just 3 shades that didn't work for me. Number 23 and 22, these are more autumn shades, and number 28, Bare Fig, is more of a winter shade, just a little too deep and rich, and these are too warm. They're great for people who enjoy these colors. I just didn't enjoy them, but I got to review them in previous years, so that's okay with me. I had a NARS lip gloss. This is the Afterglow lip gloss in the shade Nympho. I don't know what possessed me to buy this. It is the most awful putty brown lip gloss on me, and it didn't look good. I had it in my collection for a few years, and it just started smelling weird. And this is again a very much a soft summer shade in this same formula. I have the shade Turkish Delight, and I use it all the time, but that's definitely more of a skin brightening shade for me, where this just makes me look dull and muddy. Another shade that made me look dull and muddy, but I liked it as a base, is the Peri Para Ink Velvet. This is in the shade number 17 Rosy Nude. It was okay, but even from this range, I prefer shade number 21 Fluffy Peach, which is a nice fluffy pink peach shade, and this is nice, but now that I have shade 21, I don't need this. And if it was on sale, I might repurchase it, but I'm not pressed to run it and buy it again. And then another product that I enjoyed, I had it for too long, it started smelling weird. I've made a really nice dent, like you can see, it's down here. Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Luminizer in the shade Sweet Mouth. Nice, warmer peach with a little bit of pink. It's really pretty. What made me stop using this so regularly is purchasing the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade, I think it's 21 Gummy Bear, but it's just more of a neutral cool tone pink with a little bit more brightness. This has a little bit more peachiness, that's a little bit more pink, that suits me a little bit better, and it's more affordable. So this was nice, just I wouldn't buy it again for me. For eyeshadow product, I have 2 products. They just dried up and were no longer usable. First is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Kelsey Barini collaboration. This was a liquid shadow. It was nice. It just dried out and got flaky, so I couldn't use it anymore. And the other is the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick. One day I went to go use this because I liked using it as an eyeliner on the upper lash line. It just dried out, fell out, and crumbled. So it was okay, but I've got shadow sticks around the same price point that don't do that. So this was okay, but I'm not pressed to own it again. Another in the middle product was the Agio Sal Maker in Cool Tone by the brand Colorgram. This was okay. With the structure of my lower eye, I already have like this fatty pad under my eyes. So when I emphasize it with something like this, it just looks a little off on me. So I had this for like a year after its expiration point, and it just didn't work for me. So I'm okay letting it go because I only paid a couple dollars for this. This year for eyeliner, I finished off a few that I really love, but let's talk about one I didn't love first. This is the Roman On All Shade Liner, and this is in the shade number 4 Hooded Rosy. This is just not a great shade for me. I tried to use it to emphasize the inner corner of my eyes to highlight the natural like pinkiness in this inner corner. This shade just made my eyes look sickly, and I used it, but I ended up smudging it out and kind of buffing it on to something a little bit warmer and brighter. Like the pencil, just didn't like the shade. Cosmetics No Tug Superhero Eyeliner in the shade Cosmic Copper. This was nice. It was warmer than I needed. I hung on to this way longer than I should have, but in the autumn season, I really like this. I like how this shade had a little bit of that warm copperiness that popped the blue-green of my eyes, especially when I paired it with a cooler purple shade. Two eyeliners that I absolutely love: the McQueen New York Gel Eyeliner Pencil in the shade 07 Aura Heroine. Gorgeous, something that you can get similar to this here in North America. This is a 4 collection liner pencil, and this is the shade number 33 Love Affair. I love this, especially as a tight line. It's a warm, deep plum. This one lasts me for quite a while because I have a few shades that I rotate between. It just dried out. And then possibly the best liquid eyeliner pen I have ever used, and I think about daily when I'm going to do my liquid eyeliner, because I like to just do a little bit at the root of my lash just to give a little bit more thickness. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liner Pencil in the shade Chocolate. So look at the fine nib on this pencil, and currently the one I have is the one size point made in the shade Busty Brown. So when we compare the nibs, you can see the one size is just a little bit longer. It's not a bad pencil, I just don't love it as much as the one by Too Faced. So in the future, especially in a sale, I would go back and buy the Too Faced again and again and again. That being said, there are a few I've seen on YesStyle from Clio as well as Judy Doll that are even more fine. I would love to try those out as well. For eyebrows, I finished off a NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe. Great classic pencil, one that I go back to time and time again. Then I finished off a beloved e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shade Taupe, one of my favorite brow products, and I repurchased it and I have it again. They've updated the packaging. One of my favorite brow products, and it's just really good and affordable. A similar product that took me a while to finish off is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Wax in shade 1. It was okay. To me, it was too similar from the one from e.l.f. to keep repurchasing that. So it was nice, but I want to save my money. And then next I have this Re-Ray Fork Eyebrow Tint in 01 Gray Brown. This was a random product I purchased on YesStyle. It's like a brow staining marker with 3 prongs. It was okay, but honestly, I think I've used it on my husband here and there more often because my husband has very fine eyebrows and they're a little bit more sparse in the front. So there's been a few occasions where I've gone through and just added a few in the front, and this shade worked really well for his brows. On me, it just didn't make that big of a difference. My eyebrows are microbladed, so this was just kind of redundant. That being said, this was around $6, so it was okay. And then I have 2 makeup brushes that just fell apart this year. So the first one is the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. You can see the bristles just fell right out of this. And then the other one is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer Brush. And this one, when I was cleaning it, the bristles just went down into the ferrule. So it was okay, but I prefer it. This is very similar to the BK Beauty A506. I prefer the BK Beauty A506, and it just feels a little bit more durable in my opinion. This year was the year of mascaras. I found some really great mascaras. Lancome Sills Booster. This is a great primer. It's a classic. A lot of people love it. I just find for me and my lashes are fine and sparse, and this tends to weigh them down. I much prefer a primer like the Etude Dr. Mascara Fixer. Lightweight, holds a curl, my lashes don't fall, and it just does everything I need it to. That being said, the Lancome Sills Booster is a classic because it is filled with some really great lash nourishing ingredients. It's just too heavy for my lashes. Another mascara that I wanted to love, it was a little underwhelming. This is the Judy Doll Curling Iron Mascara, and this is the shade Brown. It was nice. It gave a very natural, wispy lash look. I just wanted more. I wanted bigger lashes, and this was just too natural. I liked it on my lower lash line, but honestly, on a day-to-day basis, I don't do my lower lash line because it takes me way too long. On a similar note, the Etude Curl Fix Mascara, and this was in the shade number 3 Gray Brown. I liked this one even more than the Judy Doll for my lower lash line. It's just on my upper lashes where I wanted to use it primarily, it didn't do anything. It was almost like I put on mascara, I put on another coat, I put on another coat. It was just like my lashes but tinted. I wanted more from this mascara. A mascara I felt kind of meh about was the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift. This was really popular on social media. The brush intrigued me, but when I bought it, it reminded me of the Pillow Talk push-up lashes because it has this like flat side. I just didn't enjoy this. I don't think I used it for the full 3 months because I just didn't enjoy it. A mascara that I have mixed feelings on is the Maybelline Lash Lash Sensational. So I started off using it in the waterproof. This was okay, but I find even with the waterproof, it smudges on me. So I finished this off. Currently, I am using the Lash Sensational in Blackest Black, not waterproof. This smudges less than the waterproof, but it still smudges, so I have to lock this in with a waterproof mascara. Overall, I really like how this makes my lashes look. For my eye shape, my eyes, it smudges too much. I love this curve comb brush. It's a great brush. Formula is a little too watery and too prone to smudging. Next, Maybelline Lash Sensational Firework Mascara. I thoroughly enjoyed this mascara. It was a really nice middle ground. It wasn't too natural, it wasn't too dramatic. It gave just enough and it was really nice, but as I've gone further into the year, I want bigger lashes. I want bolder lashes. I want more of a false lash effect. For me, this was just a little too natural. Speaking of too natural, but I love the color, the Benefit Bad Gal Bang in the plum shade. I really enjoy this, but as far as a plum mascara, I prefer the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High in, I think it's called Burgundy Haze. I have it in my backup drawer. When I finish off with the Lash Sensational I'm using now, that's the next mascara and I cannot wait. It's such a great mascara. This is also good, but I would rather save the money and just get the Maybelline. And then I finished off 2 mini sample sizes. First was the Bad Gal Bang mascara in black. So same thing goes for the burgundy one. This just gave a little bit more impact due to the darker shade. And then I finished off a mini of the Matte Max Stack mascara in black. I really loved this mascara so much that I have debated buying it in the navy shade because I keep seeing they have a navy shade. I really want to try it, but we'll see. We will see. I've got a few mascaras in my queue to use up. When I run out of other things, I might dabble with the MAC Max Stack mascara in the navy shade because I thoroughly enjoyed this mini sample size. Next, I have some just random makeup products. Cinema Secrets brush cleaner. This is my everyday between makeup uses brush cleaners. Every day when I finish my makeup, I will put my brush to the side and then I will spot clean them with the Cinema Secrets. I decant it into a little spray bottle, so I use way less product. And I love this. I've used this for years. I go through about a bottle and an 8 a year. I really love it. I use it all the time. I get 1 bottle a year during the Sephora sale and I'm good until the following year. It's a standout product. And then once every week, sometimes every 2 weeks, I will properly clean my brushes with a bar of antibacterial soap and lukewarm water. Another product I finished off and I have a backup of is the Beauty So Clean Makeup Sanitizer. So whenever I pull my products out, this is just a habit I have from being a freelance makeup for years. I will take a tissue, clean the surface, take some Scotch tape, remove any hard pan. Then I'll spray this on. And if I don't have this, I will just use plain rubbing alcohol, mist it on, but that's just to kill any germ and bacteria in my powder products. And I have the larger one I'm working through now. This is just a product I really love. And also, I just feel like you don't have to use the Beauty So Clean sanitizing spray. Just use alcohol. When I worked for MAC, Sephora, that's what we use to clean our products. And it's just, a lot of us hang on to our products, especially powder products, way longer than the expiry date. So just clean them every now and then and they will last you so much longer. And then 2 randoms I have are more nail products. I love these like little pump containers for alcohol. I get these from my local Shoppers Drug Mart, and I love these when I'm doing nails. And I also like to use this just to dispense on a cotton pad and then use it to clean my pencils after I sharpen them. And then my favorite nail top coat. I have been through several of these over the last few years. This is the Essie Gel Couture top coat. It doesn't matter what type of nail polish you're using. This works on any type of enamel nail polish. And this replaced my love of the Essie Speed Sitter, which I think was discontinued. I like this better and it just gives a really nice glossy finish to the nails. Currently, I am wearing this top coat, a new bottle of it, over the shade Mademoiselle from Essie. That finishes off my makeup empties. I will see you next week to go through my facial skincare empties. Then we're going to do body and hair, and I might combine the last two. We will just see. I hope you're having a great day wherever it is you are in the world. Until we see each other again, take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.